courts from slipping in controversial items when
when
members.
someone's not there. I wouldn't question you. I just like to know why.
Sure.
I'm just trying to learn. So I can remember if it should have come up again.
168-75.
Good evening. I'm going to call to order this meeting of the Wendell Town Board of Commissioners and welcome everybody here tonight. We're going to be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Gabrielle Spivey. She's a student at Lake Myra Elementary School. Gabrielle Spivey is a fourth grader, actually, at Lake Myra Elementary School, and she comes to school every day with a bright, smiling face. She represents what it means to demonstrate positivity. She's a great friend to kids in her class as well as throughout the others throughout the school. She is an amazing leader, modeling the LEAD expectations daily. She's kind, caring, and creative. Her teacher, Ms. Parker, would say that she's a model student. We're also very proud to have her back at the lake because she left for a year. I guess she went to another school and came back, and we're glad to have you back in Wendell. We're very proud of you. This is high praise, so we're very proud of you for that. So she's going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our invocation tonight from the Wendell Council of Churches is from St. Eugene's Catholic Church, Mr. Bruce Tarnowski. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Let us pray. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, we are meeting today to conduct matters of business of the town of Wendell. Guide our hearts and our minds to the spirit of fairness, right thought, and speech. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities so that our affairs may reach a successful conclusion. Thank you for being our source of guidance today and every day. Amen.
Thank you again for being with us tonight. Are there any adjustments of the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve, all in favor?
Aye.
There was no one signed up for public comment tonight. Item number 3 is the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, all in favor? Next, we're going to recognize Lake Myra Elementary School teacher Carla Parker. Ms. Parker, if you can come stand up here. Carla Parker is currently a fourth grade teacher at Lake Myra Elementary School. She has been an educator in a variety of elementary schools over her 24 years. She has a master's degree in education and specializes in literacy. She began her career in Prince William County in Virginia and has bounced back and forth between there and Wake County for 24 years. She's taught at Bug Elementary, Brentwood Elementary, and Lake Myra in Wake County. Last year, she exceeded growth in reading and math with the students in her classroom and was recognized for making the top 25% highest growth for both the state and the district. Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Carla has tons of energy and enthusiasm. Lake Myra is honored to have such a dedicated teacher with such a focus on student achievement, growth, and learning. We wanted to have you here tonight and thank you for everything you do for our children in Wendell.
Thank you for having me.
Much.
Appreciate it. And February 27th, you notice, guys, this month is Black History Month. So every year, my students do Black History reports, and they do trifold boards, and they come in dressed as their famous African American, and we do like a live museum. So you guys are all invited to come and take part in that on February 27th, and we will start at 10 o'clock.
I went last year. It was really very good.
Yeah. Like they have to, they do research, but they have to, on that day, they take on the role of that person they did a report on. So it's really good. So you guys should come out and check us out. And thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you do for our kids. Item 4B is the introduction of some new Town of Wendell employees. Okay, Mr. Bergmark, I wasn't sure who was going to do that.
I'll start since,
Okay.
since Linda was listed first on our list.
Okay.
So for those of you who may not have, met Linda Barber, she was hired a couple months ago at the end of November as our permit technician. So her primary responsibilities revolve around helping out citizens go through the, building permit process, answer questions they have, and coordinate with Wake County for either, building permits or trade permits. She's been doing a bang-up job on that and pretty much totally caught us up because we were in a little bit of a hole, with a lot of growth going on. She also has some additional duties related to administrative tasks like helping put the PowerPoint together or helping get notifications out, things of that nature, doing minutes. So she's been a great addition, shown a high eagerness and willingness to learn and get involved in new tasks, and we've received a lot of compliments about her, so she's been a great addition to the planning department.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
And good job getting them caught up on the permits.
Thank
I
you.
heard
I love
about
my
that the
job.
other day.
I'm happy to be here.
That's outstanding. Thank you. We're happy to have you. Let's see. Now we're going to hear from Brian Bray.
Madam Mayor and the board, I'd like to introduce to you Michael Jones and David Kay here on the other side of me here. Both of them started just shy of a month ago. The Public Works Department is very excited to welcome Michael as a Specialist 1. He comes to us straight from having his own business here in downtown Wendell. I'm sure most of you have met him, over some time. He was very excited at the time that he applied for the position, and we were very excited that we could offer him the job as well. And he came in with a great attitude and been doing a great job. Right now, he's acting as a heavy truck operations helper while he's studying for his Class A CDL. Welcome.
Welcome. We're happy to have you in Wendell.
Next, we have David Gay. David comes to us from a local trucking company where he was a Class A CDO operator. He also previously owned his own company as well for over 22 years. We provided services such as finish grading, rough grading, landscaping, pretty much anything that has to do with heavy equipment operation. So he came in, jumped in right off the bat, and what we'll talk about here in just a little bit about our debris collection site. He's actually built as a pad right now, a very, successful pad build that we can operate out of, rain or shine. So we're glad to have him on board as well.
Welcome. We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
It's very exciting, all this growing that we're doing. Next, we're going to hear about a presentation on leaf and limb debris collection from Public Works Director Brian Bray.
Thank you again. This presentation goes along with what we all know about the wreck and total loss of our leaf truck. That was our primary and sole leaf collector that we had, and it was lost back in November 2018. During that time, we've looked at what we need to do as far as the level of service, how we can maintain that, the staffing, the right piece of equipment, as well as our temporary storage of material and a collection route. Ways that we can improve service as well as maintain efficiency while we're working with another piece of equipment. So Darrell Hells has also helped with coming up with these zones. Planning Director David Bergmark was a big help as well, helping to outline those and get those printed off for us. So the map, let's see, there you go. The map that you have before you here shows debris collection sites. You should have a zone 1, 2, 3, and 4A and 4B. And within those, the Public Works Department has a goal in the 19 and 20 budget year to provide weekly yard waste removal service for the town at 90% of the time. We're basically looking at 47 out of 52 weeks a year. Things that could cause us to not be able to provide that service are inclement weather, debris, pickup after storms, sometimes festivals and events, things such as that, Christmas light put up, tear down, things that require a lot of manpower. Obviously, as well, mechanical breakdowns can have an impact of that as well. As part of this, we have been ramping up to maintain our service. We're also putting out door knockers. Wherever we do not pick something up, there's always a door knocker that's put on the folks' door. That way, if they call in with a complaint, how come my debris hasn't been picked up, we can actually reference that. It's handed over to the Public Works admin after they have set it out, and it lets us know and be able to track to make sure that we're providing the full service for the town. As part of this go, we also want to ensure that we pick up along the entire town, maintain areas, and to be able to provide information to the town hall and Public Works admin about where we are on a weekly basis, actually on a daily basis. So with that, daily email of what zone Public Works is working in would be sent to the admin staff, as well as information can be added to social media perhaps. We can also more easily ensure that the entire route is collected by breaking it into specific pieces. You'll see the borders that are up there now. For some of the ones, you should see a difference in color. You have basically zone 1, 2, 3, and then 4A and 4B. And those zones are not set in stone necessarily. They could be adjusted as the need arises. A lot of thought has been put into these right now. We understand we're going to be experiencing growth in the near term. Zones 4A and 4B would likely, if approved, become their own sections over time. We have tested this for about the last 5 weeks before we brought it to the town manager. And with the current pickup method that we're doing right now, this has allowed us to give a more accurate picture of what we're actually getting on a day-to-day basis. And we can actually, before employees were struggling to say the route is 3/4 of the way done, 1/4 of the way done, depending on what they were doing. And there was really not much information being passed on to the administrative staff, letting them know other than we're not finished. As our town grows and our capabilities increase, the goal would be to let the public know the specific day that their area would be collected. We're not at that point yet, but as this grows, if it works, what we'd like to be able to do is say Zone 1, the normal pickup is Monday, to be finished on Tuesday. Zone 2 would be started on Tuesday to be finished on Wednesday. The idea behind that is right now everyone is asked to put their debris out on, Sunday evening or Monday morning, and then it could sit there for the entire week. And sometimes if we're behind, it sits there even longer. So we have stormwater issues perhaps from it getting into the stormwater catch basins, as well as possibly safety issues as well with the debris being out in the streets. So this is a way that we can kind of break into it right now to help us with the issues that we're having currently with being able to pick it up and identify what has been picked up and what has not. So when folks call in, they have a better idea of where we're at. But we can also add a lot to it in the future. With the zones, we're trying to maximize efficiency. Obviously, we lost our primary leaf truck, and the replacement turnaround is a year to 18 months, depending on the week that you ask. And that's why we'll be speaking about a backup system here shortly that we will present in item 6E. This option will allow for us to have a leaf grass collection machine in place near the start of peak grass season. And so, if there are any questions about the zones, we'd be happy to answer them. Like I said.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Bray? I definitely like the idea of incorporating some parts of it on social media. I think that will help.
Yep, if we can get the word out, I think that'll help. And it has helped.
It does
Yeah.
help.
It really has,
That way if
especially.
someone's missed or not, they understand.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone else? All right, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Item 5A is a public hearing, discussion and action on a map amendment request to rezone a property at 719 Marshburn Road from R3, Residential 3, to Neighborhood Center. Mr. Bergmark.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the board. As stated, this is a public hearing for a rezoning request off of Marshburn Road. Tonight you're being asked to take action. Of course, in this case, we would have to come back for a second vote, but action would consist of adopting the attached ordinance, which includes a statement of comprehensive plan consistency and reasonableness. The applicant in this case is Volunteers of American National Services, and they're requesting this property at 719 Marshburn Road, which is the Crestfield Apartments, be rezoned from Residential 3 to Neighborhood Center, or NC. This is currently within our corporate limits. Again, it's an existing project-based Section 8, 55 and older senior family development, a little over 5 acres in size, with 40 units that are, or maybe around 40 units that are 100% occupied, and in close proximity to some, the fire station, post office, shopping opportunities as well. When the UDO was adopted in 2010, that's when the R3 zoning district came into effect. As a result, the R3 zoning district does not allow for multifamily development by right. It requires a special use permit, so as a result, it's considered an existing non-conforming use. So they're essentially, through this rezoning application, trying to bring it back into a more conforming state where it would be in a zoning district that does allow for apartments. And just so you know, if it was not rezoned and for, say, there was some natural disaster and it was discontinued for a period of time, then it just creates a greater degree of risk. They might not be able to reestablish it. It also can create some issues getting loans for renovation jobs and things of that nature. You may recall that a couple of years ago, Alexander Place Apartments came forward before this board with a similar request, and they were rezoned from R3 to NC at that time. I'll bring up a map so you can see the area in question. So the red outline outlines the Crestfield apartment property that is subject to this rezoning request, and immediately to the north, in that shade of blue, is the Alexander Apartments that were rezoned previously. You can see adjoining this, you have some additional R3 to the south. To the west, you have a corridor mixed use along Wendell Boulevard, and to the east, you have a R3 conditional use district that was for the Brighton subdivision. We did look at this in terms of comprehensive plan consistency. This falls within the S6 sector, which is kind of prime for infill development and more urban styles of development. Appropriate land uses do include neighborhoods and single and multifamily residential. So at their January 22nd meeting, the planning board found the zoning map amendment request to be consistent with the recommendations of the comprehensive plan and also reasonable in nature due to the existing use as an apartment complex. Staff is in favor of this request. I'd be happy to take any questions you may have.
All right, I'm going to open the public hearing, and we're going to hear from the applicant.
I don't know that the applicant is here tonight. He was at the planning board meeting, but I have not seen him here tonight.
Okay. Well, are there any citizens present that would like to speak? I guess not, okay. Well, we'll close the public hearing. Does the board have any questions for Mr. Bergmark? No questions? All right. So we're looking for some action from the board.
I feel like this is this makes sense. I think the location of it being close to, being in town, it's already being used for an apartment type of setting, and I think this would be if things did change, it would still be suitable for apartments, being adjacent to that and with walking distance to other commercial areas. So I have no problem rezoning with the rezoning request. That's kind of where I stand.
Yeah.
With that, I'll make a motion to approve the rezoning request for the properties listed.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve the rezoning request. Is there any discussion on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
Item 6A is a request for temporary closure of Main Street for the ProTown BMX event. We're going to hear from Parks and Rec Director Jeff Pulaski.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Commissioners. I'm here in front of you tonight asking for a temporary road closure of Main Street for March the 30th, 2019 for our ProTown BMX show. It is our special event for March. This would be our 4th year holding this event. The ProTown BMX stunt team, they're a team out of Greenville, North Carolina. They've performed all over the world, from Dubai and Germany, and one of the past riders is actually the Team China Olympic coach for their 2020 Olympics team. So a lot of the kids recognize these faces. They're guys that you turn on TV and you see them on the X Games and the Dew Tour. But they're coming back again this year, and we'll be doing the 2 shows, each show followed by an autograph session, and then free riding clinics with every child that wants to participate in that event. And for children that don't have equipment, they do provide some there that afternoon. We're looking for the section to be closed off from 3rd Street to the railroad tracks from 9:30 a.m. to around 5 p.m. We've generally been getting done a little sooner than that. Cleanup for that event's usually pretty quick. I have had contact with all of the Main Street business owners, and all of them are excited about this event. They see a boost of foot traffic from this event. And the only concern in the past has been from the Ladybug's Cottage. Her annual shop hop is usually the same day as the ProTown BMX event. So in November, when that shop hop date is sent, I went to her personally and asked her for that date. So this year, that's why the BMX event is a week later, is so that we do not interfere with that shop hop date. Also on that same day, Grillbillies kind of piggyback on our event last year, and I think we both really played well off of each other with the events, but it is their second annual People's Choice Barbecue Challenge, is also that day at 12 o'clock noon.
They're expecting a real big crowd, I
Yes.
heard a while back, so get ready. Thank you for accommodating the Ladies Bug Cottage event as
Yeah.
well. It's important. All right, does anyone have any comments or questions for Mr. Pulaski?
And that rain date is the next day,
It's
I'm
the
sorry.
next on
Yes.
Sunday. Mhm.
No, yeah, thanks, Jeff, for working with the downtown business, to make this more successful. Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the temporary closing of North Main Street
Can
for
we
the
have a
BMX festival.
motion for the temporary closing of North Main for the BMX event? Is there any discussion on the motion? All in favor? Item 6B is a request to purchase an HVAC air handler and door and lock replacement for the East Wake Senior Center. I'm here from Public Works Director Brian Ray again.
Thank you. For this, we're asking for approval to purchase a new HVAC system for the total life portion of the senior center, as well as during inspections that we do monthly, we also identified some issues with the locks as well as one door that we just are not able to repair in-house any further. And the Total Life Center, as you all may recall from the updates that the manager has provided, they've been having a lot of trouble with the HVAC, here of late. A repair was done that did take care of an issue with the air handler, but probably when the air handler was basically destroying itself, it took out another portion, the heat strips, and so that has failed. To buy a new air handler and attach it to the old unit on the outside, it might work, but then it's 30 years old, the exterior pieces as well. And if it goes out, the new air handler that we would install inside would not work with the new one. So what we're asking is for an entire new system for them. Right now, they do have heat. It's just when it gets very cold, then we have to supplement that with electric heaters inside of there for them to be able to maintain their business and to keep the folks taken care of inside of there. The other portion is with the locks. Again, Public Works has rebuilt those multiple times in the past. There is just literally nothing there that is left for us to rebuild. So we've actually had the locksmith come out, and they have done their assessment as well, the ones that we normally contract with, and they said there is nothing else that they could do either other than to repair them. There is a door on the north side of the facility where they enter as well. That door, this fall, we had a lot of complaints of snakes coming inside and things like that. It is just basically rusted away. And so those are the items that we're asking to be able to purchase.
A lot of people may not realize the town of Wendell owns that building, and so we're responsible for maintenance and upkeep of that building. Do y'all have any questions for Mr. Bray? Anyone? Any comments?
There's no chance we can get natural gas run to that building. I know I asked this question when we were talking about the stove, but it's hard for me to believe that natural gas doesn't come nearby that building. It's just not close enough to get a gas system.
No, specifically when we looked at the stove, it was not, but I have not looked into that again at this time for this process.
Okay. That hasn't even been a year.
Right, that is correct.
That's been pretty recent, so.
I just have one question, it's probably more or less for the town manager. These funds, do they come out of general fund, or is there a line item in the budget?
There's not a current line item in the budget. This would be out of, either the end-of-year appropriation if we underspend or revenues are above, or a general fund reserve appropriation if not. But we wanted, before we put that kind of expense in the budget, we obviously wanted to get y'all's awareness and approval before you settle on the end-of-year budget adjustment.
Any other questions or comments?
So this is only one unit. there are multiple units in this building.
Yes, sir.
What is their age looking like?
They are all in the late 80s, 87, 1987, 1988.
So this is the first one
It's the first of many.
This is the first, yes, sir.
how many total?
3.
Okay.
Brian, has any of their day-to-day activities or anything been really affected or halted or?
For one day, when the initial problem started, there was they were still able to maintain service, but it was degraded as far as that. We were able to move them over into the lobby of the senior center. They were very gracious and allowed everyone to be moved over there till we could get supplemental heat in there. Since then, it's worked out okay. We take the heaters over there and we make sure they're on and plenty of time for them to, get up to the temperature that they need. Now, if this is approved, when we actually would do the install, we're looking at doing an install during the week because the cost is a lot higher if we do weekend work, of course. And so with that, I've spoken with Norma over at the senior center, and she said, again, they will accommodate the folks to be over in the lobby. They'll make all the arrangements that they need to make to accommodate the 2 days that it will take for the install. It should not be over 3, but they expect a 2-day install.
We have to make sure those folks have heat and AC in February.
You never know.
Only North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
You never know what they're gonna need in there. All right,
Yeah, I'll make a motion to, approve the purchase for the new HVAC system and the doors with the locks installation.
all right, so we have a motion to purchase the HVAC and the door and lock replacement at the senior center. Is there any discussion on the motion? All in favor? All right. And don't sit down, Mr. Bray. We have a request to purchase a multi-purpose tow vehicle, pull-behind leaf collector, and we're gonna hear from Public Works Director Brian Bray again. I think this is your last one.
I think so, if I counted right. So, yes, and we're asking for approval to purchase a Chevy 5500 multi-purpose. It will be the tow vehicle, as well as it'll have some other uses for the department as well at times. And as well as a Spartan Leaf Pro Plus pull-behind leaf collector. Those are the two that we've identified right now that would most meet the need that we have. We have demoed an ODB version, and we are getting ready to demo the Spartan version as well, prior to making a purchase. But that is the one from our homework that we've done that would best suit what we have. Following the wreck of the primary and only leaf truck owned by the town in November 2018, we started to piggyback for another truck sale, piggybacking off of a sale in Oxford. That fell through. At that point, one of the distributors for ODB, which is normally where the leaf trucks come from, they pulled out. And so that just made the search for a leaf truck that much harder. Another company is taking orders, or will take orders for North Carolina. But once we checked with them, after that was pulled off the agenda item, when we were going to piggyback for the Oxford one, they said that the chassis are way behind. Everybody's having trouble just getting the chassis before you put the leaf collector box and everything on the truck. So the estimates I've been given are 12 to 18 months, and again, it changes depending on the week when you look at it. So we had to look at another option. We basically rented a leaf collector box, which is the same thing, but it's on a trailer. You pull it behind a vehicle. It still dumps, and it has virtually the same capacity. And we used one of those with pretty good success. Now, the rental one does not have the same capability for collecting out of the ditches and things like that. It's a 3-man operation instead of 1 man with a truck. So we have done a lot of homework, and we've come up with the one that we have before you here tonight. This can actually be a 1-man operation if you have to. It will be slow, or 1-person operation, but with 2 folks, there should never be any problem with the collection. And so that's what we are bringing forward. We believe this is the closest thing that we can get, and we can have both pieces in play somewhere before peak grass season starts. We're looking at a 4-month turnaround instead of 12 to 18 months. And again, this would be what we would look at as a backup system and look for a primary.
It would be our backup system.
Yes, it would be our primary now, yes, and in the future be a backup, yes ma'am.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Bray?
So we're purchasing this as a backup or as a primary, and we're still ordering a brand new one?
If I may.
Certainly.
We're ordering this one now, and we will put the primary leaf truck into the capital improvement plan for future purchase. So this would use the insurance funds from the total vehicle.
And that will cover the cost of this?
That'll cover the cost of this. Any future vehicle for the primary system to make this the backup would have to be a capital improvement that y'all approve in a future budget cycle.
But you're doing this because of expediency time.
Yep, and the town shouldn't have a backup system in place, which was a lesson learned this year.
We should have that.
We should have some form of a backup, and while this is less efficient, it's also less costly. And so in a peak season, if we put 2 crews on this, you can get a lot more work done and still maintain your workload. So this gives us extra capacity during peak season, to have both of those in the future operating. It gets us through until the time that we have a primary system.
And the truck also serves as a fleet vehicle that we were in need of anyhow, is that correct?
It gives us a towing capacity and larger fleet vehicle.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
Does it have to be a Chevrolet?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Well,
You better have
it's a really good,
you
we
better
have
a
2
backup
quotes.
for this.
Yeah.
If it breaks down, Paul will personally rake the yards.
That's quite a guarantee. That's great.
All right. What y'all want to do?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to approve the purchase of the Chevy truck and the Spartan Leaf Pro Plus pull-behind collector.
All right, so we have a motion to purchase the Chevrolet truck and the pull-behind leaf collector. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Right. Item 6D is the adoption of the 2019 Town of Wendell, North Carolina Strategic Plan. I'm going to hear from Town Manager Collins.
Okay. Well, this is a follow-up agenda item for the draft strategic plan that was presented to the commission at your last meeting a couple weeks ago. You've had a couple weeks to digest. I'm available if you have any questions about it, any additions, deletions you would like to make. Staff would like to offer the opportunity for the commission to adopt it at this point. If you choose to adopt it tonight, the next step at your commission retreat will be to have a facilitated prioritization of the strategic initiatives to help guide staff in prioritization of our time and efforts moving forward. And also, after that, then we will assign duties and timelines to the specific initiatives for staff to complete. So I'm really available for you if you have any questions or follow-up from the last meeting. If not, then request your approval.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Collins?
Make a motion to approve the strategic plan.
Okay, so we have a motion to adopt the strategic plan, Town of Wendell. Is there any discussion on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Item 7A is our snapshot. Let's take a look at that.
Say if I may, on the snapshot.
Yeah.
I'm really getting excited working with finance and the departments on their department goals and performance measures to include in the budget. And what you'll be able to see moving into next fiscal year is the snapshot evolve into a performance measurement update. You'll see how your goals and the department goals are being achieved on a monthly basis within your report each month. So that's where the snapshot's going, in addition to finance data. Those performance measures will be reported out to you at the budget retreat.
Okay. The approval and purchase of the property on 2nd Street, that's all taken place, right? So we can remove that from here.
The update on that is we're in the staff is in the process of
Lease.
drafting a lease for presentation to the Historic Association. Once those two parties have a draft lease in place, then it'll come back to the commission for approval,
Okay,
hopefully in the next couple months.
okay. We can remove the purchase and continue working on the lease. Does anyone have any comments or anything they want to, a snapshot? All right, thank you. Item 7B is an update by town board members. Tonight, we were going to hear about the Wendell Fire Board, but Commissioner Joyner was called away unexpectedly for work, so we'll put that, we'll hear from him next time. And Commissioners' reports, start with Commissioner Boyette.
No comments tonight. Well, I'll tell you what, I can give you a little update, from the fire department. I didn't go to the board meeting, I normally don't, but, the fire department, Wendell's newest fire engine has arrived. I came down from Wisconsin and was in Rocky Mount for some upfitting for a few weeks, but it's now arrived at the fire station. Spent all day today, trying to get equipment loaded on it. It's a nice truck, it's large, it's a big truck, but it'll be the new first out engine, very capable. The county bid went with a new, manufacturer. We've been getting Pierce trucks for a while, but this is a Rosenbauer. Seems like a really nice truck, and we're all looking forward to it, put in service.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Commissioner Myrick?
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Mayor Pro Tem Lutz?
I just wanted to say, just kind of thanks to, the town staff for all the work they did on these, the Pro Tem BMX with some modifications last year and all the stuff the Public Works has done with their, responding to a bad situation this year with losing the truck and how they've worked hard to handle that. And then, with just working on the strategic plan, I just, been impressed with all the professionalism and the, all the things that have been happening in the past 6 months. So thanks for all y'all's, hard work. It was really good. And that's all I had.
Okay. Real quickly, I've got some reminders. Tomorrow, February 12th, from 6 to 8:30 in this boardroom, we want to invite the public to come and let us know what you're thinking. So this is a good chance for you to come and talk to the town board and the folks from the Commerce Department. We're having a community visioning and economic positioning forum. And this, like I said, this is your chance to come and talk and dream and think about what you'd like to see in Wendell, what you wouldn't like to see, and answer questions that you may have and share concerns that you may have and be part of the growth that we're getting ready to have and part of the solution, because we've got a lot of things we need to discuss and figure out. So I welcome you. I invite you to please come. Saturday, February 23rd, from 9 to 3 at the Clayton Center in Clayton. We're going to have our board retreat, and the public is welcome and invited to attend that. Saturday, February 23rd, also at 4 at the Wendell Community Center is Princesses in the Park, one of the funnest things we do all year. Thank goodness we'll be done with the retreat in time for me to get there, because that's always really fun. So I urge you to come. I understand Cinderella's going to be there this year by special request, so I'm looking forward to that. Thursday, February 28th, the East Wake Education Foundation is hosting Stars in the East at East Wake High School. The dinner is at 5:30, the show's at 7. You can contact the foundation for tickets. It's a chance to see all the kids from all the area schools in eastern Wake County do performances and things, and it's very cute. Doesn't last but, an hour and a half. So I urge you to go and watch your children. I'm sure a lot of folks have children that are going to be participating in it. And the last one, Saturday, March 2nd, from 6 to 11, is the Party with a Purpose. It's this year's Parents Commission fundraiser that they raise funds. The town board doesn't give them a lot of money, and this is a real go-getter group, and they raise their own money for the murals and a lot of the beautification projects that you see around town. They raise the money, and it's all private funds, and it's going to be a great event. The theme is a red carpet affair, and it's going to be held in Universal Chevrolet in the large room in there. So we appreciate that. Thank you, Paul, for that. And that's all I've got for tonight. we have,
Make a motion to go into, closed session, pursuant with North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A5.
okay, so we have a motion to go in closed session. All in favor? Right. Hmm?
So close.
I know, I'm not even sure, something, Jim's gonna tell us. Do what? Yeah.
Will we have groundbreaking? Giant scissors?